There comes a moment in your life when the noise becomes unbearable. The opinions, the judgment, the doubt, the constant expectation to explain yourself. And in that storm, you realize something powerful. No one is coming to save you. That's the moment everything changes. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop looking for validation. You go silent, not because you're weak, but because your energy is sacred. You retreat, not out of fear, but because you're sharpening your sword in silence. The real growth, it happens when no one is watching. The money, the mindset, the power, the discipline. It all comes when you shift the spotlight from the world to yourself. When you focus on you, everything else aligns. You don't need to speak about your plans. Let your results echo louder than your words ever could. Silence is where kings are built. You learn, you build, you evolve. And one day, when they least expect it, you return, not as who you were, but as who you were meant to become. So stay silent. Stay focused, and let the universe rearrange itself around your energy. There's a misconception in today's loud, fast-paced world that silence means surrender. That if you're not constantly talking, posting, explaining, proving, then somehow you're falling behind. But let me tell you the truth that most people are too afraid to accept silence. It's not weakness. It is discipline in its most powerful form. It takes an unshakable mindset to sit with your goals, your pain, your ambition, and say nothing. To not defend yourself when you're misunderstood. To not retaliate when you're disrespected. To resist the impulse to overshare your every move. That is power. Because only the weak crave attention. Only the insecure need constant reassurance. The strong, the real ones, they're too busy building, grinding, mastering their path in the shadows. Silence is where discipline lives. It's the place where you say no to distractions, no to validation, no to explaining your vision to people who were never meant to understand it. When you train in silence, you're sharpening your edge while the world sleeps. While others scroll, gossip, doubt, you are becoming the weapon. And that doesn't mean you're passive, far from it. It means you've chosen restraint. It means you're controlling your energy, directing it toward progress, not petty arguments or temporary applause. There is no noise in greatness. There's just repetition, isolation, focus, and most importantly, patience. The kind of patience that allows you to work without seeing results right away, that allows you to build without praise, that allows you to become unstoppable without ever announcing it. You see, silence reveals the truth about who you are. When you're alone with no audience, do you still show up for yourself? Do you still grind when no one's clapping for you? Because if you do, then you've tapped into something most never will, self-respect. And once you have that, you're dangerous. Not because you threaten others, but because you don't need anything from them. You've built yourself brick by brick, without permission, without applause. That's a man or woman with discipline. That's a warrior with a purpose. That's someone who knows that not every move needs to be announced, that some things are stronger when kept sacred, that pressure is best handled in silence. Because when you finally explode into the world, they'll have no idea what hit them. And let me be brutally honest. If you want to win in this life, you're going to have to master the art of being alone. Not lonely, alone. There's a difference. Lonely is craving company. Alone is choosing solitude because you value your time, your peace, and your progress too much to waste it. It means waking up early while everyone sleeps. It means skipping parties for progress. It means ignoring noise, drama, and doubt because you've got something greater to build. That kind of silence is a weapon. It's the difference between a follower and a leader, between a talker and a doer, between someone who dreams and someone who executes. You'll notice the most dangerous people in the room aren't the loudest. They're the ones watching, studying, observing, and when they speak, people listen, not because they're loud, but because they're rare, because they don't waste words. They don't need to convince. They just show up with presence, backed by action. That's the kind of power silence builds. It turns you into someone who doesn't need to yell to be heard, someone who doesn't chase, beg, or explain, someone who walks into the room and shifts the energy without saying a word. That's not weakness. That's discipline forged in the fire of solitude. So next time they say you're too quiet, smile. Let them think you've fallen off, that you're out of the game. Meanwhile, you're getting sharper, stronger, more focused. And one day when you rise, and you will, they'll wonder how you did it. But you won't need to explain. You'll let the silence speak for you, just like it always has. Because the loudest power in this world isn't noise. It's the silent confidence of someone who built themselves in the dark. Most people drift through life reacting to the world instead of creating it. They follow the path others lay out for them, trapped in the expectations of family, friends, society, chained by comparison and poisoned by the need for approval. But here's the harsh truth. No one is coming to design your life for you. If you want a future that's yours, if you want to live on your own terms, you must focus on yourself completely, unapologetically. Because the moment you shift all that scattered attention back to your own growth, your own discipline, your own mission, is the moment you become the architect of your destiny. When you focus on yourself truly and fully, something incredible happens. You stop living reactively. You stop blaming circumstances, people, and luck for where you are. You accept that your life, your body, your mind, your finances, your relationships is the result of your choices. And with that awareness comes power, real power. The kind that makes you wake up earlier, train harder, learn more, and say no to anything that doesn't align with where you're headed. Because suddenly you're not moving aimlessly. You're building, you're designing, you're crafting something meaningful, a life that's yours. And building yourself isn't about being selfish. It's about being strategic. You cannot pour into others from an empty cup. You cannot lift someone else while drowning in your own chaos. Focusing on yourself means healing your wounds, developing your mindset, mastering your emotions, and becoming so solid that nothing outside of you can shake your foundation. That kind of self-focus is rare because it's hard. It requires accountability. It demands you face your flaws without excuses. It forces you to cut off distractions, walk away from comfort, and sit with the uncomfortable silence of growth. But that silence, that's where transformation lives. There's a reason most people never reach their potential. They're too busy watching others, comparing, scrolling, gossiping. They give their energy to everything but themselves, and then they wonder why they feel lost, anxious, or behind. The truth is, when you focus on the external, you lose control. But when you bring that focus inward, you become untouchable. You become the kind of person who doesn't chase opportunity, it finds you. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone because your life becomes proof. Your presence, your discipline, your energy speak for you. Understand this. You are the project. You are the blueprint. You are the builder. Every hour you waste on distractions is an hour taken from the life you're meant to live. Every day you spend pleasing others at the expense of your own peace is a day you'll never get back. But every time you choose yourself, choose to read, to train, to plan, to stay disciplined, you lay another brick on the path toward your purpose. That's what makes you the architect. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it. You don't hope for a better future. You build it with your bare hands. And the beauty is, you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need applause. The blueprint doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. They'll laugh when you disappear to focus. They'll mock your discipline. They'll call you arrogant for prioritizing your goals over their drama. Let them. While they talk, you build. While they doubt, you evolve. While they scroll, you execute. And one day they'll look around and realize that the person they overlooked became the one they now admire. But you won't need their validation. You'll already be too focused on your next level. That's the difference between those who dream and those who do. The dreamers wait for the stars to align. The doers build their own sky. Focusing on yourself isn't about isolation. It's about elevation. It's about becoming the kind of person who can walk into any storm and not be moved because you know who you are. You know what you're building. You've seen the blueprint in your mind so clearly that no outside noise can drown it out. So if you feel like you're stuck, like the world isn't recognizing your effort, shift your focus. Pull it all back to yourself. Cut out the noise. Train harder. Learn faster. Heal deeper. Work smarter. Because every step you take in silence, every small disciplined action is a brick in the foundation of a future you'll be proud of. You don't need luck. You don't need approval. You just need focus. Because when you focus on yourself, you don't just change your life, you design it. You become the architect of a reality so strong, so purposeful that nothing can break it. That is the power of self-mastery. That is the beginning of everything. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, where people measure worth by likes, comments, and empty applause, there's a power in staying silent and letting your results do the talking. We live in an era obsessed with noise, where people feel the need to broadcast every move, every goal, every intention. But here's the truth. Real winners don't waste time talking. They don't boast. They don't beg for validation. They execute. They grind in silence. They understand that results, real, undeniable results, speak louder than any words ever could. And when the time comes, those results walk into every room before they do. When you let success be your voice, you take control of your narrative. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth. Your discipline, your work ethic, your outcomes, they say everything. When you walk into a room with quiet confidence, people feel it. You don't have to explain your mission because your life reflects it. Your presence is heavy, not because you demand attention, but because you've earned it. Success doesn't need introduction. It speaks in the way you carry yourself, in the results you've produced, in the life you've created through focused, consistent effort. And make no mistake, results aren't just about money or status. They're about mastery of your habits, your mindset, your emotions, your health, your time. When you become someone who gets things done, who turns intention into execution, who turns vision into reality, that's a result. That's a statement. And it's louder than any speech you could ever give. Talk is cheap. Everyone says they want it. Everyone says they're coming for the top. But only a few are willing to suffer in silence for years, sacrificing comfort, distractions, and excuses just to prove to themselves that they can become the person they said they'd be. See, people will doubt you, they'll ignore you, they'll talk behind your back, they'll say you're wasting time, that you'll never make it, that your goals are too big. Don't respond. Don't defend. Don't lower your energy to match their noise. Just keep working, keep moving, keep building. Because eventually, your success will leave them speechless. Your results will be undeniable. That's the sweetest kind of revenge. Not words, not debates, but achievement. When they see the life you've created, the body you've sculpted, the business you've built, the peace you've earned, there's nothing left for them to say. Because results shut people up in a way words never can. And the best part? You never have to brag. People will talk for you. They'll say, he changed. She's doing something right. I didn't believe it, but look at them now. That's how you win. Not by arguing, not by posting every move, but by staying committed to your grind long enough to let your results build your reputation. Success is the most articulate language there is. It speaks clearly. It silences doubt. It rewrites your story. It elevates you in rooms where you were once ignored, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. The world doesn't need more people talking. It needs more people doing. You don't rise by announcing every goal. You rise by attacking them daily. You rise by putting your head down and doing the work that no one sees. That's what separates the successful from the loud. Anyone can talk big. Very few can back it up. And those who can, they don't need to yell. They don't need to explain. Their life becomes the proof. Their achievements do all the talking. And when you become that person, you become unstoppable. So stop wasting your breath trying to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Don't tell them what you're going to do. Show them. And not now, not tomorrow, when the time is right, when the results are undeniable, when the foundation is unshakable. That's when you let the world see what silence and discipline have built. That's when you let your actions speak on your behalf. Because in the end, no one remembers what you said you were going to do. They remember what you did. Let your success be the loudest voice in the room. Let your results echo louder than any speech. Let them feel the power of a person who didn't just talk about it, they made it real. So when the world gets loud, when people doubt you, when no one claps for your efforts, stay calm, stay focused, stay silent. Let them underestimate you. Let them laugh, let them run their mouths while you run your game. Because in the end, all that noise fades, but your results remain. Success doesn't need a spotlight. It creates its own. And the moment your actions start bearing fruit, the same people who ignored your grind will ask how you did it, but you won't need to explain. You'll be too busy living the life they said was impossible, too focused on the next level to look back. That's what it means to let your success speak. You don't have to chase respect. You attract it. You don't have to prove your value. You become it. So build quietly, work relentlessly, trust your vision, and let your results be your voice. Because when the dust settles and the talking stops, only one thing will matter: what you built while everyone else was watching. That's the truth. That's the mindset. That's how legends are made. Not by noise, but by discipline, silence, and relentless execution. Be the one they never saw coming, and let the results speak forever.